Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review it's interesting to describe this as science fiction is being able to read people's minds, apparently. This sci-fi fantasy comedy, Maggie, which is a 13-episode first season from Hulu, focusing on Maggie, played by Rebecca Rittenhouse, who's a young woman who actually can see people's futures when she comes in contact with them. And Maggie had a previous relationship where she's still pretty attached to this Ben character played by David Del Rio, who now moves in with his new girlfriend Jessie, played by Chloe Bridges. Just to make things complicated, Ben's sister Amy, Angelique Cabral, and her soon-to-be husband Dave, played by Leonardo Nam, they move in, and then you do have Maggie's childhood friend Louise, played by Nicole Sakura, and we have this nice little ensemble for this comedy, and you throw in Angel, who is Maggie's psychic mentor, as you can say, played by Ray Ford, who's absolutely fantastic, and her parents, played by Carrie Kenny and Chris Elliott. It's always nice to see Chris Elliott popping up in things. He was great as Roland Shit in Schitt's Creek. Yep, names. But this series it leans into a lot of tropes and things that you expect from these kinds of romantic comedies, and these people in their 30s dealing with 30 people things and dating and the awkwardness, and it's the main conflict here is Maggie feeling that love for Ben, but Ben's gonna be getting married to somebody else, and she can't tell by seeing Ben's future if it's supposed to be her or it's supposed to be Jessie, and that's where things get complicated, even leading up to the final shot of this season, which, spoiler alert, this show got canceled back in September, so it leaves you on a giant cliffhanger after this first season, and you're just like, well, I'll never get a resolution from this. But it's about the experience, and each episode's 20-22 minutes. They're short, they're sweet, they have some fun setups, they deal with some very relatable things for 20 and 30-something-year-olds trying to figure their lives out, what's the next step in life, and I think the psychic aspect of it, it's a little cheesy, but I think it works in the context of the show, obviously, and it brings up some interesting mystery and questions to potentially process in this show, and it was weird seeing that this was a 13-episode first season, because what shows are 13 episodes anymore? But this is a show that, I enjoyed. It's an easy watch. It's fun. I think the cast is really charismatic. I particularly like Nicole Sakura's Louise, who I think's trying to figure things out the most, and also Angelique Cabral's Amy. She's very strong. She has a strong personality. Likes things how she likes them. And she has a fun dynamic. But, I'm rooting for Maggie. Well, I was rooting for Maggie. Now, Maggie doesn't exist anymore because there's no more show. But I would have loved to see a second season to see how things played out. I think they had some interesting arcs, like Maggie losing her abilities for a while and leading up to a pretty impactful reveal of them coming back at the end of this first season, which you'll never get resolution for. This is a hard recommend at this point because it's I don't know if you'll ever get resolution to this, but it was a fun 13-episode run of an inoffensive, nice little relatable comedy with a fun little ensemble. So I liked it, and it had a little fantasy flair with the real psychic aspect of it, so I think it's worth a watch. But those are my thoughts on Maggie. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some TV. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.